So a while ago at the job I work at, my employer, they release a firm-wide employee survey out to the employees every year just to get feedback and just to ask them how well they're doing and how their overall employee experience is. And uh, just recently, they released the survey results, and it seems like, as always, it seems to be like a farce. So why are good employee survey results feeling more like false more than ever? Well, I think it's just more of protecting a company's reputation and rather not telling the truth. Otherwise, I think a lot of employees would feel bad about themselves and they could very well leave. And that's something I want to talk about in today's video and what I want to go over more in depth. So, like I said, the employee I worked at, they released the company survey results, and for the most part, this was an email uh, authored from the CEO and the Director of Human Resources, and they frame the results as mostly positive. And I think this is something that's very common that a lot of companies do, especially in the corporate environment or the big corporations. They present the results as presenting them as positive, but the reality feels very mixed. And what I mean by that is a lot of employees, like the one I'm at, which I'm not going to mention here, they know that people want better work-life balance and they want them to do other things as well. They clearly know what their people want. And whether that's better work-life balance or doing remote work like working from home, yet they still don't offer a lot of those choices. And what really stood out to me is when I read that email and then when I read it in an article format through my employee portal at work, the comments were very obvious. And I'll read some of these comments that I made note of while I was at work. Someone said something along the line of this: all they do is spout good results, yet they ignore common concerns like work life balance, and nothing changes. It seems like this is just another washout and just more corporate nonsense. Now, when I read that, I gotta say, that was a breath of fresh air right there. And I'm also surprised that they actually let that comment go through. I mean, luckily, the employee I work at, I guess they're not completely woke or they're not really anti free speech. So that's a good thing. But still, for someone to make a comment like that about the latest survey results is quite eye opening. And it's quite clear that as every year goes by, the results are pretty much the same. They'll say something along the line of, "Oh, everything's great. You gave us great responses, and we like the idea that our culture is great and people like to work together with each other, and we come together towards the common purpose of helping our clients and making the workplace much better and so forth. But we're not really going to address like the most common issues like, oh, work-life balance, or maybe we'll let our employees work from home and so forth, and all this great stuff." I mean, you get the picture. it it's becoming more joke on this every year. I mean, our employees, like, I almost said my employer's name, but are they really just stating the obvious, or they think we're kidding ourselves, or they think they're treating us like little children? I mean, really, is that the case? Because that comment that I said earlier, I mean, just says everything. They come out with the same survey results, mostly positive, some improvements that we'll work on, but most likely nothing's going to change in the next year. I mean, that is like the most uh, pro status quo type of message that any employer would give today. And I think nothing's going to really change where I work at in the next year. So Why do I bring this up? Well, I happen to take I took that survey myself, and by far this year, I gave the most negative comments that I could give, and I gave a lot of one-star answers and so forth about how, management is out of touch, whether that's middle management level or, even going to the top of the level where you got these corporate greedy executives and where they don't give a damn about their employees, they don't give a damn about humanity. You know, they could give a fudge about, what's going on around the world, or, especially at the bank I work at right now, because I'm in the financial sector. What's been going on in 2026 with all the war stuff going on in the Middle East? I mean, this is great for the banks. And, you know, war is a it's a money-making business for banks, especially banks, and not just the defense industry or defense contractors. So I say that because, you know, a lot of these big corporations today just don't give a damn. They don't give a fuck about their employees, and they profit from all the corporate greed. They're the most greedy people in the world, and they're just gonna do it for their own self-interest. Now, I may be bashing on corporate and that, but I'm telling you because I'm an anti-corporate person, and even though I'm still working in a corporate job, I am actively working on my own escape plan to hopefully get to leave that environment in the next few years, because I don't want to be in that environment forever. When you see people, when you look around and see what they're, uh, up to, and how I observe people, they're very unhappy. They're not fulfilled, and they're very dissatisfied with what our employer is doing to us, and they don't listen. So I say this because companies celebrate the good-looking headline numbers, but they repeatedly ignore the same employee concerns. Now, when people are asking for practical things like work-life balance and flexibility, uh, which let's be honest, those things don't really exist. I mean, companies are not going to budge on that. I mean, it makes these surveys feel pointless after all. So what do you do about it? Well, you stop expecting real change from these surveys, and you got to read in between the lines. And I'm going to give you a quick reality check right now, but you just have to accept reality as it is and focus on what you can control. Focus on honing your skills. Uh, Learn how to, find better jobs out there, or learn how to start your own business, or even in my case, start your own uh, hobby that can turn into a business one day. I will say right now that doing videos like these is something that I'm learning to get better at. And although it could be a hobby, my intention is to turn this into some type of side business where I can make good income. And hey, I have no idea where this is going to go, but I enjoy doing these videos, and I'm going to keep doing them as long as I am mentally and physically capable of doing so. And you can also, what I do as well, you can trade for a couple hours a week. More on that in a little bit, but you have to focus on building your own exit plan. So here's some key takeaways that I want to bring up. Number one, headline numbers can be very misleading. You always want to check the actual categories to see what's really going on. And when you look at like the big breakdowns of the numbers, which they do lay out in the email that I read, uh, a lot of it is positive, but some of the weaker spots, or the ones that you really want to make note of, is yes, employees want work-life balance, they want to work from home, and they want more flexibility. Those are the things that I think employees, or actually employers, really ignore a lot, especially in the corporate world. Number two, when the same issues keep getting raised with no change, that tells you everything. In that case, if you know that we're going to get the same old results year in and year out, and you can expect nothing to really change, then what's the point of staying in a job that is making you miserable and makes you unhappy? And, honestly, your employee just does not give a fug about you. So all you are is just a number, and you are just this little assistant that is going to help the big boss or your boss make him richer. And I've talked about this before, but most people will work a number of hours each day, whether that's 8, 10 hours, or 12 hours a day, working for someone else, enriching them. Yet they won't take the time, or they won't set aside 1 hour a day to, focus on themselves, to work on their own business. I mean, for me, I spend about 1 to 2 hours a day focusing on building a better future for myself. I mean, doing this right now, I look to enrich myself and work on my own self interest because I firmly believe that doing stuff on my own time, things that I'm passionate about talking about doing, and what I want to do to create more impact on other people's lives and get to build a like minded community, that's what matters to me more than, working a job that just drains and sucks the energy out of me. So if nothing's going to change, that tells you everything, and it's time to reconsider. And then the third takeaway is don't wait for your company to improve your life. If you think that when you get that next pay raise or the next promotion, that's going to be the game changer in your life, and you're just hoping for a better outcome with your employer, then I got news for you. You're in trouble, because I don't think none of that's going to change, and it can be uh, a very miserable path to go on, and it'll be much harder to get ahead in life. I mean, truly, you know, if you rely on your employer to provide for your own well-being and uh, get to support yourself, then that's a problem. Because I don't want to be that person who relies on someone and hopefully that they give me the opportunity or give me that next pay raise to improve my life. Me, my suggestion is to build your own path. Work on your own exit plan. Work on improving your own human capital where you are able to uh, get ahead in life without relying on other people. So these so-called good survey results shows the same old corporate game. Positive messaging with very little actual change. And if you're tired of this cycle and you have been disappointed in these results year in and year out, or you don't think that you're getting on the path to nowhere, then I do have another alternative path for you. And this is what I talk about in my latest ebook called Three Paths, Three Prisons: Freedom or Indentured Servitude. And in this ebook, I break down the three most common paths that young people will take, and I provide the alternative path that can actually lead to more freedom in life. And if you choose to take this alternative and you commit to this for the next 4 to 5 years, there's a really good chance that you will change your life, and not in just a way where you can make money, but one where it can lead you to more freedom, financial freedom, more time freedom, and most importantly for me, to be able to have more mobility freedom as well, meaning you have the ability to live anywhere around the world and without having to have restrictions or having, say an employer or the government looking over you or stomping on you. So if that interests you, be sure to check out my ebook via the link in the video description below. And if this message resonated with you and you have so many questions or thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comments section below and let's start a discussion. Do you feel like you're at a point now where nothing changes at your job? Do you feel jaded by the positive messaging or the uh, this idea that your employer spits positive results, yet they do nothing to change your life for the better? If you have any thoughts in mind, then feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll gladly respond back to them. And really would look forward to hearing your thoughts. So, other than that, that's all I got for now. Check out the ebook to get on my email list, and you will get your free copy of that book. And until next time, peace.